Now that we are following God, we might be asking, how do I know His voice over the other voice in my head? There are two voices that are going on in our head simultaneously all the time for the rest of our life. And determining which one is God and which one is not is going to determine the quality of the rest of our life. One voice that's always speaking is the ego, and you can name it anything else. Your lower self, the unclean spirit, whatever it is the ego. And the ego is the voice that usually sounds like fear, but not all the time. It takes different approaches, but it's the voice that's constantly playing backward. It's always the voice that's looking for a place to land. It's the voice that repeats everything you're doing and has an opinion about what you're doing. Sometimes the opinions might seem negative, but as soon as you switch it, then automatically it starts agreeing with a different opinion. The voice, the ego, is also the voice of the thinking mind. The other voice is the voice of the soul. And yes, how do we understand which is which? So the soul always speaks to us in love tones, in encouragement. It is the voice that hits us at the pit of our stomach, the one that just feels true. We usually call this our first mind. Have you ever, of course, we all have, had a situation where you were met with a decision and your first mind wanted to go with one decision, but as you sat with it more, your thinking mind or your ego or whatever else you want to call that other voice began to talk you out of the first voice. And so then you rationalize and perhaps you went with the second voice, only to find at the end of that road, something occurred that led you to the outcome that your first mind was suggesting in the first place. And then hence comes the term, I should have went with my first mind. You're right. We should have. Our first mind is the soul and it knows the way, which is why that term has become overused, because it's simply true. Your soul, which is God living in you, it knows the route. It is that GPS that we were born with. It's meant to guide us in every situation. And it is absolutely correct every single time. And the more we can learn to hear this voice and tap into this voice, guess what? As closely you're going to follow the path, which is going to create exactly the outcome we want to see in life with precision. And actually, it's going to go beyond what we intend to create. It's going to blow our minds. So the whole point is to get so in tune with that voice that we hear it and we follow it straight to the destination, straight to our destiny, which is why we're here. We want to get to a place. We want our dreams to come true. We hold this vision. Great. That voice within knows the way. And the more we listen to it, the quicker we are going to see those dreams becoming reality. It's absolute fact. It is our gift. It is the most powerful gift that we've come here with. The problem is we forgot to trust it, or we have, forgot to trust it. We have been crowded with other voices in our head, the voices of the ego, the voices of our past imprinting, the voices of our caretakers, our friends, society. Now we're going to create a space to shun out, to quiet all those other voices. Not that they're ever going to stop, they won't, but to begin to illuminate and enhance the voice of our soul, which is God. So, first things first, we have to create a space to where we can hear God speak. That's it. There's nothing that will there's no skipping this part. We have to do the work. But the beautiful part is the work is actually relaxation. And our only work in relaxing is simply prioritizing this time with God. Now, this means spending time with God every day. Now, what I love to do personally, and what I highly recommend we do, I cannot recommend this more than enough, is carve out at least minimum 5 minutes in the morning. Minimum. For me, that 5 minutes that I have been spending time with God in the morning has now grew to over an hour with God. It's become my favorite part of the day, and it will become yours too when we do this every single day and do it for the rest of your life. It is essentially setting you up for success for your entire day. It is the foundation where your entire life is built upon. You cannot skip this message, right? God knows where we want to get to. We don't know where we want to get to. I mean, we have a thought of where we want to get to, but He knows the way. Time to tap in to that GPS. So, setting aside 5 minutes every morning before you even touch your phone, before you check the email. And I know in the beginning, this is going to be work because we're so programmed to grab our phone first thing. We want to check Instagram. We want to check the email. We want to check the stock market. We want to check our text message. Give yourself, for God's sake, the first 5 or 10 minutes every morning to just be still with the intention of hearing God speak. And you can set this intention out loud. God, show me what you want me to know today. Ask Him a question. What's pressing on your heart? What are you worried about? Speak to Him as candidly as you would be speaking to a friend. He loves that. He's craving for communication with you. And it doesn't need to be formal. You don't necessarily need to bow down on your knees. You don't necessarily need to go to a temple. You don't necessarily need to open your Bible. Just be. Be wherever you are. Go into the living room and lounge on the couch and just be. Sit up in the bed as you first rise up in the morning and just be. Submerge yourself in bath first thing in the morning and just be. But for whatever the day brings, let your first works be to spend time with God. This is not underestimated time. This is the most important place where foundation is built. You cannot afford to skip this part. Spend time with God, 5 minutes, intending with an open heart to hear Him speak. That can look like just sitting there. This can look like meditation. It can look like prayer. It can look like 5 minutes reading your Bible. It can look like 5 minutes journaling gratitude, journaling your thoughts. Whatever it is, give yourself this precious 5 to 10 minutes every single morning. Now, you may or may not hear God speak in the moment. I mean, the more we do it, you will be able to hear Him speak in the moment. I'll get into that in a few minutes. But as you're beginning to hear Him speak, you may not necessarily hear Him right away, but that's okay. As you get up from those 5 or 10 minutes, just go through life, go through your day with an open heart, intending to hear Him speak, and remain open to the countless ways He is speaking to you. This is where most of us get lost. We may be walking down the street and we overhear a stranger's conversation. And you know it is the exact thing that you need to hear, the exact thing that is the answer to your question that perhaps you just asked God about, something that's pressing on your heart, something that you're worried about, something that you want to do and you just need confirmation. And then you overhear a section of someone's conversation as they pass by. And we think maybe on first thought, like, why did I hear that? Or that really answered what I was just thinking. But then we discount it. That is the ego. That's the second mind wanting you to discount what you've just heard. But pay attention. That is one form that God is using to speak to you. So perhaps the section of the conversation you overheard was, yes, I still have to book that flight. But you were just sitting down asking God, what should you do about the upcoming summer trip? And God is confirming essentially, like, yes, I'm saying green light, book the flight. Like, I'm going to provide. There is something that is there for you. There's something I want to show you. This is in alignment with me. Or perhaps you look up and you see a billboard and it says, just wait. But again, you just asked the question earlier, like, God, should I book the flight? And God is saying, just wait. Don't discount the messages that come. The messages that come are not random. Nothing in life is coincidental. God is using everything to communicate to us. He is using bumper stickers, license plates, a section of a commercial, song lyrics, a book title as you gaze through your bookshelf, conversations with friends, family, strangers, a sound when you're just sitting in meditation and you're asking God, God, should I make this phone call? All of a sudden, a horn honks in the background and it resonates, whatever it resonates within you. Whether was that sensation, that sound, a yes? Did you feel that as a yes in your spirit? Did you feel it as a no? The more we just get playful with the way that God is communicating, the more we will actually see how He is absolutely communicating. And then you just can't wait to go out in life and just communicate and find the treasures that God is using to speak to us in every moment. I have been doing this for many years. I was going to say 6 or 7, but it's beyond that. It's more like 12 years at this point. And now it's to the point where God answers me in the moment I ask the question. He is answering questions before I even ask them. I ask him a question and it's almost like a two-way dialogue, like in the moment. God does not wait to respond. The only reason why we think he does is because we haven't become quiet enough in our spirit to actually hear him speak. But now we are coming with an open heart, allowing God to speak to us in whatever form he chooses. And the more we do this, the louder that voice will become. And the more we move in the direction of what we understand God to be communicating, and the more that we see that things are working out for us, is the more that we trust that voice. But we're going to get into that in a little while. However, what happens as you grow this muscle is you will recognize the sound of God through everything. And sometimes it won't be sound. Sometimes it will be just the sensation of what you feel when you see a sunrise. The sensation of what you see when you're seeing fish, in a pond at play. One of my favorite things to do is when I rise in the morning and I hear the birds just talking to one another, I visualize what are they saying, and I'm tapping into the energy, the sensation. It sounds like they're being playful. It sounds like they're speaking to our God, their God, the creator of it all. And so I am able to at this point interpret with the intention, God, what are you communicating to me by ways of the birds singing? God is using, yes, even the sounds of animals and butterflies that are visiting you. He's speaking to you a million ways. Don't become concerned if this sounds confusing. The more you just sit in stillness in God's presence for 5 minutes every single day, the more this will make sense when you'll be able to hear and feel what God is communicating, in haunting pictures, in beautiful sunrises, in the beautiful flowers in bloom. Trust me. He will make it evident that it is him all along. Our work right now is simply to create that space to be able to allow him to speak to us the way he wants to. And God will also speak to us in the depths of our spirit. And that might sound like an audible voice. That might sound like just this gentle knowing within us. Sometimes you just know, you don't understand how you just know, aha, that is God. Just simply telling you what's true. That's how you know. So as we lean more into the way God is communicating, just sit there, opening up your heart to the way he wants to come through. He's going to use it all. He's going to come through every single time, and it's going to be miraculous ways that he comes through. And as you sit with God 5-10 minutes every single day, give him the prime spot in your life. As soon as you wake up in the morning, give him that 5 and 10 minutes per day. Before you know it, that time is going to expand to 30 minutes and onward, because you're going to crave that communication. You're going to love that alone time. And I want to just put here that don't worry about what, your emails are doing, or you're thinking that I got to get out of this state of being with God because I got to get to my emails. When we're pushing back the demands of the day for God, trust me, it's miraculous what he does. He pushes back. He holds the demands of life back to secure that sacred space that you two are spending together, which means the emails, when you do come out of that quality time with God, the emails that you do receive, they were never that pressing. They never needed you during your sacred time with God. God does that. Like, it is miraculous what is created when you just allow him space to communicate with you, which is exactly where he wants you. He's going to make sure nothing is that pressing. You're not going to miss an email that you should have responded to during that time. Nothing is going to harm you, is essentially what I'm saying, as a result of you doing exactly what he's asking you to do every day, which is simply just sit there with him and let him pour into you.